Well, hey there. Welcome to the Paw Chronicles and More with Jim. Well, today I wanted to take an opportunity and talk to you a little bit about grafting and what it is I got going on out here. This is a tree that I grafted this year. This is a persimmon. I have it tagged H118 early jewel, grafted May 30th of this year. The rootstock itself is a persimmon, and the rootstock was a seedling that I stuck out here in 2018. So the stalk itself is 5 years old. Last year, incidentally, this tree had flowers in it, and they were all male flowers. So I decided just to get some grafting done. I have a series of them out here that I had grafted, and this one right here turned out to be a really good graft. I mean, it took off crazy. Off of one scion alone, and only had one bud. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm looking at 8 branches pushing out from that one graft and that one bud. And on the other side, I have just 1, 2 pushes, but extremely healthy looking. You know, when you do this type of grafting, you can see I have support stakes in here, which I am going to remove this fence and do a little bit more supporting because the graft is getting really big, and I want to make sure everything stays stable. Probably wrap more tape around here to kind of keep holding it tight. And one thing I've noticed is we get a lot of growth coming from the rootstock, and I always go through and try to knock that off because I don't want nothing growing from the rootstock. If it's anything like pawpaws, it'll quit trying to grow from the rootstock and grow from here. We'll find out. This is the first time I've really gotten into grafting persimmons. The scion wood itself came from Cliff, England, of England's orchard and nursery. Been there a couple times, and we'll make another trip this year and do an assessment of different persimmons that he has. But the graft looks good. Now, something that I want to share with you of my thoughts about grafting and what is it that's going on within that log. Well, on the outer side of the log you have the bark, and just under the bark you have the phloem, and then just past the phloem you have the cambium, and that's where the contact is made, and then past the cambium you have the xylem. Now the phloem, the leaves, will collect nutrients from the sun. I come out here, I do a foliage feed once a week, and what it does, it sends that down through the phloem to go out into the roots, helps to build root structure, and the roots in turn, they pull nutrients from the ground and send it up through the xylem to feed the leaves. So it's a constant flow up and down within that tree. But one thing I will share with you about the xylem, the center of the tree, the woody part. You know, when maple gets tapped, they tap past the phloem and the cambium, and they tap into the xylem because that's where the sap is coming up through. But the closer you get to the center of that tree, it's dead. The heart of the tree is actually dead. And when it comes to grafting scion to the tree and it begins to grow, the bondage is made between the bark, the phloem, and the cambium. The bondage is really not happening with the xylem because dead cannot adhere to dead. It's just not going to work. But that being said, one day this tree right here will suffer from some type of event, sooner or later, a storm or something like that, and these grafts they stand a good chance of blowing out because towards the center they can't bond. But the tree is narrow enough as the scion wood is putting on growth, it's growing towards one another, and then they'll probably bond to one another. But the very center between the three grafts, there's going to be a catch basin for water. And that right there could cause problems down the road. But in the meantime and in between time, as this grows, this is going to offer up scion wood for me later on. Now, as you can see in the background, I have a lot going on. And over on this side, there's going to be more going on. I'm planting persimmons out here, and I'm creating my own small personal orchard. And as time goes on, I'll be grafting. I have a number of different ones that I've grafted out here. I have this one, I have Cardinal, I have Yates Jewel, I have Knightsville, Nikita's number 4, Derby Ankle, Masuku, JTO2, oh, Cassandra. I got Cassandra back there. Which I have Cassandra, Nikita's number 4, and H118 out front in a separate area. But anyways, as time goes, I'll be able to collect scion from these trees as they get bigger, and the seedlings that I've planted out here, I'll be able to graft onto within a year or two, because once you get these in the ground, they spurt. They go very, very quickly. Not to mention, I've used mycorrhizas and ironite down in the ground for the seedlings to give them something to help jump, and fingers crossed that'll happen. When I get done with this project, I sat down and I counted with everything that's planted and all the stakes that I have situated for where the trees are going to be planted, which this weekend I'll be rocking and rolling. We have about 40 of them to plant. And when I get done with this, there's going to be a total of, I think, 80 persimmon trees out here. And all 80 persimmon trees will end up being grafted at one point time or another. I may let 1 or 2 grow to adulthood to see what happens. It depends, I don't know. But this type grafting right here, I don't foresee myself doing this type grafting in the future. It was a challenge for me, and I'll leave that to the experts. But I like grafting into the seedlings when they're, about 2 or 3 foot tall. For me, I have a better success at doing that, and I feel more confident that that tree is going to have a better lifespan. That's just my personal opinion. But it's just something I wanted to share with you. It's an amazing thing to do, grafting, and it's not hard to do. It can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Anyways, my name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Y'all have a God bless day.